The one thing I am really proud of is what we're doing here with Everyman. We have so many patients that come to us that thank us for the solution, that are just really appreciative and to have found a way to cope with their struggles. And this really fulfills me because I really think back and of the problems that I have back in the day. And now I'm being able to help on this exact front really fills me with a certain level of pride. Yeah.
Welcome to the Swisspreneur Show, a podcast about startup stories and learnings from experienced entrepreneurs. Here's your host, Sylvan.
Jon, a very well welcome to the Swisspreneur podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here today as a guest.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
You're the co-founder and CEO at Everyman Health. You're specialist for men's health. And I'm going to jump right in. What motivated you to start your own company?
This actually goes back to a story a few years ago. So when I was a young adult, around 17, 18, so really just out of puberty, experiencing sexuality the first time, I had my struggles with it, right? Like many young men I had some sort of erection problems. It just kind of didn't really want to work the way I was hoping to. And it was a way bigger problem for me than I thought it was. So I was raised by a psychologist and a psychiatrist. You know, I got my fair share of therapy in my life. But despite my upbringing, I had a really hard time finding the right institution, person, trusted party to talk about this, about this problem. Because I think I had a very distorted view on what sexuality really meant. I saw it from TV, guys need to be up and ready for sex within like no time. And like, the number one goal is that you have to please the woman and, you kind of don't do it right if you don't perform to those standards. And so in all of that, I kind of like forgot to enjoy it myself, right? So there was so much pressure building up so that I couldn't really like connect with my own body, with the way what I needed to actually even get into the mood. And I didn't really feel like a patient. So like going to a doctor felt completely remote. Or completely far from what would have helped me. Going to a pharmacy would have been like crazy to imagine, to go there physically, stand in line, tell the young pharmacist that I probably know from, the town I grew up in, and explain to her what my problem is. And so I naturally tried to find answers online. So back in the day, the only thing that you find online is like, makes you feel like a cancer patient. It took some years and way longer and way more internal struggles to find my way to cope with this situation. And when I did my MBA, like this is 10 years later, and when I did my MBA in the US at Stanford, I saw how HIMSS launched. And HIMSS is basically one of our US competitors that were following the pattern for Europe. Does exactly what we're doing. We're trying to create a platform that offers patients a positive, stigma-free, and easy and convenient, but safe access to medical information and medical treatments completely remotely from home, without you feeling bad or feeling like a patient, but yet still providing all the security and the medical information and medical support that is adequate for the treatments that you ultimately want to get.
I love this for two reasons, what you just shared with us. First of all, it's like it comes out of your own experience, out of your own problem and necessity. I think that's a really good starting point to see, hey, this is wrong, and can I eventually build a business around that? And the second point, you saw that there's a successful company in the US doing that. And, here in Switzerland or in Europe, we usually tend to be a bit behind the US market, right? So this is what brings me to the next question. Why is now the right time to actually work on your company? Because the timing, as you all know, is a crucial success factor for any company, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so timing. There's two factors that I think we need to point out, and then there you see what is going on in the US, and therefore what we can potentially expect also a little bit in Switzerland or in Europe. So number one is really the result of COVID. COVID shifted consumer preferences to the digital channels pretty extremely, right? Even if you're a 65, 70-year-old man living on the countryside, you learned how to shop online because you had to during COVID. This really transfers also into the realm of medicine, right? So the acceptance of telemedicine has really gone up. The amount of telemedicine appointments have skyrocketed like 26x during COVID. And since then has come down, but has stabilized on a much, much higher level. And as a result, and going hand in hand with anything that is medical and medicine related, we've seen a wave of supporting regulatory changes throughout Europe that really help to maintain and further boost the use of telemedicine throughout different jurisdictions. And so this is really what we're seeing going on the macro level. However, and this is where I think we feel time is right for our particular solution. Telemedicine and the way we use it has not really evolved since the old video call with your doctor that has existed 15 years ago already. And so what we're really building is a new model how to use the different facets of telemedicine to connect not only to your doctor, but also to your pharmacist and really get this integrated end-to-end solution where the degree of telemedical intervention is really tailored or adapted to the concrete problem that you want to solve and it doesn't follow like the standard rigid old offerings that you saw. So this is I think why we believe time is right. The consumer preference has changed and now we find a new technological innovation how we can take it to the next level.
I love that. And besides the timing, the team is, of course, also a crucial factor to make a company successful. So what experience does your team bring to the table?
Team is everything. I 100% agree. So since I'm talking already, let me start with me first. So I'm a digital business builder from McKinsey. Left as a junior partner in McKinsey's digital practice. Worked on many digital startups, scale ups of different kinds. And so next to me we have 4 more people. We have as a co-founder and COO, we have Maud Fröhlich. He is or has been leading his family business, which is a pretty big and successful online pharmacy. They also do produce drugs on EU level, so they have a GMP conform production line in their premises, and he really knows the world of pharmacy, of regulation, and basically super well connected also kind of like with throughout this space in Switzerland. And then we brought in Jon Eisler. Jon Eisler is the former CMO of Finanzguru, who is leading our marketing team. And in the back behind this, so these are the 3 operating co-founders. We have 2 more incubators. And there are different levels of hands-on involvement, but we have Nick Lenton. Nick Lenton was the first employee of Coolblue. Coolblue is the biggest consumer electronics retailer in Netherlands and Belgium. So think Galaxus, just bigger. He did that. He was head of product, head of customer success, then went on to become head of product for Suit Supply, and then led Google Flights and Google Shopping. So very experienced product builder, really helping us get the product side, the engineering side really up and running super quickly. And then last but not least, as a very crucial like incubator, more of in an advisor role, who has started the process with us is Kai Eberhardt from Oviva, who really provides Oviva is a really big and successful digital health company founded in Switzerland. They do digital nutrition counseling for diabetes patients, amongst others. And he really has the experience how to navigate the digital health space, how to think about how to make one market work and then scale it and bring it into other markets across Europe. So he's here really as a original investor advisor with all the strategic expertise.
And he has also been a guest on the podcast before. So to anyone who's interested in his story, you can search his episode on the Swisspreneur podcast. Really great team that you have put together. Now, what have you already achieved? What are some milestones that you have achieved recently?
We have picked up our work just before Christmas. So December is when I think the first conversations happened. And then I think within under 6 months, we've been able to launch our platform and start with sales. Launching our platform, that can mean many things, but in our case, it is quite a significant lift because of the complexity of the tool that we have built. Our platform is perfectly vertically integrated, meaning we're connecting the world of the patient with the world of the doctor and the world of the pharmacy, and putting a e-commerce-like front end on top. So you have an e-commerce store, and in the background you have fully automated workflows for those three major stakeholders. And so we have, besides doing the product work and the engineering work on that side, we have also invested significantly in our brand. We have registered our brand with the brand agency in Europe. We have done a lot of work on the legal side. So we have worked with 3 different legal law firms to get independent assessments of different aspects of our business model, making sure that it really is rock solid. And then last but not least, we have found not only doctors that work with us, so we have a network of doctors. We have found multiple online pharmacies that procure our orders, and we have also found different manufacturing partners that complete the network that and makes all of this possible.
Amazing. And you are in a space, where there are also other companies active. So can you talk a bit more about the competitive landscape and maybe also go a bit more in depth about the integration that you provide and how you differentiate from the existing or other players?
Yeah, happy to. So in Switzerland, there isn't really a player like us. Think about what experience that you have to go through when you want to buy a generics or prescription treatment today, right? So you have to, call your doctor, make an appointment at your doctor, get the prescription from your doctor, then take the prescription and go to a pharmacy. And if they don't have it, probably go back the next day and then pick up your order, right? So this is kind of like the high level process that we're fully digitizing. So the players that we compete with are, on the one hand side, the traditional pharmacies and the completely offline offerings. So the traditional doctors and traditional pharmacies, right, as I just described. And then you have telehealth and telemedicine providers like Medbase or the sort that do offer telemedicine solutions and also offer some sort of integration sometimes. But in the end of the day, none of them are perfectly vertically integrated. So you always have a break in handover, and you'll probably have to interact with different parties at different time. And so these are kind of like the telemedicine players. And on the other side, you have the online pharmacies. Online pharmacies, think Zuhause or Shop Apotheke or the sorts, that just basically offer all the delivery side of the drugs, but they don't offer the medical diagnosis, the medical information, the issues of the prescription. And so we are basically bringing the world of the telemedicine players together with the world of the online pharmacies and creating a new offering that spans across.
I think that makes a ton of sense from the consumer perspective, right? Or from your user's perspective. However, I can also imagine that there have been plenty of challenges along that way, to get that up and running, to build a product that actually works from a regulatory perspective, from a business perspective. What would you say was the toughest challenge for you that you had to overcome so far?
So actually, I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? It's at the end of the day, this is the difference between what we do here versus a classical D2C e-commerce play is regulation, right? It's the fact that we are doing this in the space of medicine that for the right reasons is heavily regulated. And so I think a regulation on the highest level can be a binary decision whether you're able to do it or not. But I think if you break it down and then start to build your products around regulation, you actually experience tons of challenges because of the way you need to run your processes, the way you, for example, need to protect data, the way to separate certain access rights or whatnot. So basically, the regulation might seem like a one-time thing, but it actually is way more than that, right? It's like it changes the DNA and of the product of your company and the product that you're building. And so I think we started really off with thinking that we can take a off-the-shelf solution and just plug it together with another off-the-shelf solution and have an online offering to start with. But this, because of this high degree of regulation, has really proven not to be the case. And at the same time, we also realize that we're not the only player that experiences that, and all other digital health players, especially in the software side, have a similar struggle. So at the end of the day, you barely find any good technology out there that you can use off the shelf. And so there's barely a solution, for example, that has an API nowadays in this space. So what we ended up is basically that we are building our own platform that has our own fully proprietary technology, that we are able to navigate this regulatory framework as effectively as possible, but also that we are able to then adapt it as we go into other markets. So I think this was the very big challenge that we have met and is still kind of like part of our DNA today.
That indeed sounds like a very big challenge, but at the same time also like one of your biggest assets that you're building right here in terms of technology that you own.
Absolutely. I think, the regulation is the two-edged sword, right? On the one hand side, the one days you hate it, the next days you think everyone else would have to go through it the same thing. And so we are very confident in the technological capabilities that we have built up to be able to navigate this also very effectively in the future. So we definitely believe that this is one of our strongest assets today.
Absolutely. And you're currently also fundraising with Everyman Health. Can you tell us a bit more about how much money you're looking for and what these funds will be used for?
Yeah, absolutely. We are raising, so we have raised until today 900K or around 900K, and are looking to extend it for another 300K in order to do two things mainly, which is one, we want to prove the unit economics in Switzerland. So Switzerland really is our launching pad into any other market we go. So we start in the vertical of sexual health in Switzerland, and this is where we want to prove the unit economics. And then we want to start to deliver the first operational proof points into an expansion case. And this expansion case can go two ways, either internationally or across verticals. Right there. So internationally, there's a bunch of countries where models like ours do not exist yet. So there's tons of white space to tap into. And on the other hand side, sexual health is just a vertical that we want to start with because it's close to heart and it's a big problem. But there's a lot of other verticals like hair loss, skin care, weight loss, allergies, hormone therapies, that have very similar characteristics than our first vertical. And so this could also be a second way to expand and grow our business. And we want to, with this money, also show some proof points that we can evolve in those ways operationally.
Amazing. And I'm just going to plug that right here for anyone who's interested in joining your investment. We're currently hosting a ticket on the Swisspreneur Syndicate. So if they want to sign up, they can do so at the swisspreneur.org/syndicate website and sign up for your pitch documents and then do their own due diligence and make their own investment decision. Also, quick disclaimer, this is no investment advice, just for information purposes only. And Jon, to wrap up the episode today, I have 3 rapid fire questions so people can also get to know you as a founder a bit more. I'm going to start with the first one. What was your summer job as a teenager?
I was a gardener. I chopped bushes and mowed lawns.
That sounds like an intense work. You have packed days, I imagine.
Yes, luckily climate change wasn't as bad as today, so it was not as heat prone as it is nowadays.
What are you most proud of in your life?
Um, I was actually reflecting on this, but the one thing I am really proud of is what we're doing here with Everyman. We have so many patients that come to us that thank us for the solution, that are just really appreciative and to have found a way to cope with their struggles. This really fulfills me because I really think back and of the problems that I have back in the day, and now being able to help on this exact front really fills me with a certain level of pride. Yeah.
Amazing. It's certainly a positive impact on many people's lives out there.
I hope so.
And the last one for you today, Jon, what's a surprising fact that people don't know about you yet?
Yet. So the people that know me well, they probably know that, but I am very simple when it comes to food. I eat the same exact thing every day for lunch, and I am extremely happy with it. And so, yeah, Microlino chicken caprese salad for the win.
Amazing. That's indeed surprising, but I like that. Jon, thank you so much for taking the time and for coming on the show. Good luck with the fundraising. We hope to see many interest in it. And I hope to see you again here soon. All the best and take care.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting us.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, you can support us by rating our show on Apple Podcasts. This way, we can reach an ever-growing number of aspiring entrepreneurs.